Thank you so much for being here. Tell us, what's your purpose?
My purpose in life is to inspire, motivate, educate if I can. I'm a teacher. I have a very teaching spirit, master teacher. You know, all the things that I've gone through, everything that I have pretty much pursued from a professional standpoint that requires expertise, I'm very, very good at. I'm very passionate about it. So when I speak to people, whether it's on a professional level or a personal level, I'm able to get my point across and shed some light, you know, and teach some things. So I think my purpose first and foremost is to, again, you know, inspire, motivate, and teach people. But I use my platform through acting and modeling, of course, to reach those people. You know, that's the first thing that you see. And then after that, you know, once I get you, then I'm able to kind of open you up and kind of pour a little bit of myself into you more on an intimate level.
Gotcha. So, Bossman right there, Bossman.
Yeah, I like that.
So you, the teacher,
right.
What drives you? What motivates you?
What motivates me, man? The fear of failure. When I was young, I was always told by people that I love and just by regular people, random people that I knew and grew up with, that I never was going to be shit. You know, they always counted me out. So in the beginning, you know, especially hearing that from someone that you care about, family members, you know, friends or whatever, I mean, that it affects you, you know, and if you believe that that's who you are and that's what you're capable of doing, yeah, you're going to go directly in that direction. But I've always had a healthy ego. And then I've always had this spirit within me to be able to use negativity and turn it into a positive. I am the person that you don't want to tell that you're not going to do something, because I'm going to bust my ass to show you that I can. And it's kind of a blessing and a curse now, because, you know, after you've gone through so much of being told you're not going to do something, you're not going to be this and that, you become an overachiever. So anything that you do, it's no mediocrity in it. It's going to be excellent. It's going to be big, big, big. Right. And when you constantly have that standard, it's like, man, you know, how can you keep outdoing yourself? I have to constantly outdo myself. But my purpose is what gets me up in the morning. I don't need any motivation other than the fear. You know, I get up at 3:45 every day without an alarm clock. Between 3:45 and 3:48, 3:49, depending on, you know, the night I had prior. But my purpose wakes me up in the morning. You know, I get up every morning motivated to say, look, you know, based on what I've gone through in life, I didn't get this far to not bring it home. You know what I'm saying? This is a very, very competitive industry, acting and modeling and all this other stuff. There's hundreds and thousands of guys out here doing what I'm doing. I'm an old guy, you know, I'm older. So I'm in this big pool of competition that's all thriving for the same position, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be damned if I'm gonna let somebody, you're not gonna, look, if you beat me, you're gonna have to outwork me. It's not gonna be because I didn't do my job. I always do my job. But I am going to, my work ethic is crazy. So if you beat me based on work ethic, congratulations, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you're gonna need somebody, you're gonna need a hookup. Because other than that, if I show up at an audition, if I show up at a photo shoot, I'm there to do one thing. I'm there to kill it. It's not cocky, it's not arrogant, but I'm very, very confident, you know. And in this business, you gotta be. Right. You know, I mean, that's what sells, you know, charisma, you know, confidence. You know, and again, I mean, we in the industry where arrogance and being an asshole can get you somewhere. But my purpose is what wakes me up, man. And again, you know, I'd be damned if I've gone through all that I've gone through, overcome all the obstacles that I've overcome, and not make it, you know. I would never give someone the satisfaction of saying, I told you you weren't gonna do that. I told you you weren't gonna be shit.
Staying on that topic, people see you, you know, at the red carpet. They've seen you in movies, right. Modeling, right? So that they see all the good things, all the positive, all the light. Can you talk to us about some of your darkest moments? And also, more importantly, how did you overcome that?
My darkest moments. Well, yeah, you're right. Perception is reality in this business. People look at you and they see you doing all these amazing things and they take it for face value. You and I both know, being in the industry, that that's far from the truth. I'm a regular person. I got regular shit that goes on in my life. I got issues. I got drama. I got it all, you know what I'm saying? How I mitigate that is the difference between me and somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I have to do my job. I can't go on a movie set, I can't go into an audition carrying any of that personal baggage, you know what I'm saying? I gotta drop that at the door, go in there, handle my business, and then when I come out, hopefully, you know, it isn't there. But this has been a journey, you know. Being in the industry, I've lost relationships. It's a lot of sacrifice that goes on to it because, you know, in this particular game, a lot of people have expectations, and this is an industry where you can't have expectations. Things happen in the natural order upon which it happens. Right. You know, and when you're in a relationship, especially when, you know, the trials of life start hitting you, finances and real world shit, you know. I mean, you know, typically as an actor, you work in a temporary job until you get that big sitcom, until you get that, you know, that big movie that will put you in on a different level financially where you can kind of do things a little bit better. But ideally, I mean, you're working gig to gig to gig to gig, you know, and hopefully you have something that can kind of sustain you in between, which is, you know, it's a blessing to me because when I'm not on set, I'm running my company, Body Couture Personal Fitness. I'm a celebrity personal trainer and a chef. So I came with some other tools to kind of help me through my way, you know. But again, you know, I mean, I've had financial slumps. You know, I've lived in my car. You know, I lived place to place. I know what it is to, you know, go without food. You know, not now in my adult age, but my whole life has been adversity. You know, I left home when I was 13. You know, and I practically raised myself. So growing up in the streets, you know, I mean, you leave one bad situation to kind of get involved into another, you know. And so adversity is pretty much a tool that I use to help propel me in the direction where I'm trying to go. But I think the hardest thing that has ever happened to me on my darkest hour in life, especially now that I'm in the business, or, you know, in 2012, I had an altercation. I was married once before, and this is the first time I actually talked about this since it happened. And the reason why is because I've never had a platform that wanted this type of stuff, you know. And I think it's very, very important for people to understand that, you know, I don't think that the things that happen in your life are by chance. I think those things are testimonies for you to tell other people and help them. And I think the worst thing you can do when you have a platform, when you are a celebrity, is pretend that you're not human, regular. Right. You know, people want to put you on this pedestal because they see you on television and they think that you're not accessible. No, you're a very accessible person. You may walk. You know, I'm just like everybody else. So to kind of get to the point is, I was married once before, and I have a daughter. I have a 16-year-old daughter, only child I have, and typical stuff. You know, break up, baby mama drama. You know, get mad at you, and the first thing they want to do is play with the kid, the keep away game. You know, and unfortunately, I had to go through that, and I went through it for a few years to the point where I had to either make a decision. Am I going to keep pursuing something that's not going to possibly happen, you know, because I got to play these other games, or am I going to look out for me now, you know, right, and wait for the opportunity to come to me, because children get older, right, and start asking questions. You know, you can only do so much when they're small. Anyway, when I end up filing for divorce, my ex-wife allegedly said that, or no, she didn't allegedly, she said that I misappropriated myself with my daughter. Oh, wow. First of all, I don't have to do that with anyone, let alone my own child, you know. So when that accusation was even put upon me, it hurt coming from a person that you love, you know what I'm saying? Because let's just face it, I mean, people go through divorces all the time. And they may divorce you, you know, you may be at the divorce table. Doesn't mean that you don't love the person, you still love the person, you can't live with them. Right. You know, but to hear somebody that I love, gave my last name to, and wanted to spend my life with, when things went awry, for you to say that, to hurt me. But outside of hurting me, you did something far more damaging, when the accusation came about, again, it changed my life, Me being an actor was primarily because when the accusation was brought upon me, I couldn't get work because it was on my background. I had to go prove and spill my dirty laundry to the world, telling people because I didn't want them to find out and then think I was hiding something. So anyway, that was just an accusation. But after years of saying that and that's what initially caused for me to divorce him. In 2012, they came and picked me up. I went to go visit my daughter a year prior, in 2011, and I was having so much success out here, and I wanted to always let her know that I'm thinking about her. Never want her to see me. We in that new age. These millennials, social media, and before she knew anything, she knew internet. So I knew it was just a matter of time before she saw me. I didn't want her to see her dad out here having a good time and not thinking about her. So I went home and I spent 7 days, and I had the best time ever. I got to see her, and we spent time, had a photo shoot and the whole 9 yards, not knowing that when I got back, it was a setup. It got me down there to do that in hopes to get me arrested. And this is back in Texas. So I did the whole 7-day visit, came back. I was on this high. I'm on Facebook. I'm showing everybody the pictures. And I'm in my studio, and all of a sudden, a barrage of FBI and people just start busting in my door. Guns and everything. Now you can imagine a bunch of people in your studio not knowing what's going on, and they got guns and all this other stuff going on, and next thing you know, I'm being handcuffed and hauled off my place of business over an accusation that I didn't do. So I ended up going to jail, Twin Towers. And the Twin Towers, as I discovered later, is 2 prison systems and jail systems in the country that are considered the worst. LA County, the Twin Towers was one of them. Yeah. And then Dallas County, which I had to go back to because that's where the case was. So now I'm in these 2 places, God forbid, that I shouldn't have been in the first place, but I got exposed to so much stuff. And then mind you, going in for the charge that I went in, being a pedophile for the most part. Who likes a pedophile? So I had the guards, I had the deputies, I had the inmates. I had a big target on my back. And not realizing what I was walking into at the time, I just couldn't believe, why would somebody do something that hard? Why would somebody do something of that magnitude to you because you did the right thing? It wasn't working out. I broke it off, Right. People move on from that. Why would you try to destroy my life? And inherently get me killed. You put a death sentence on me. Yeah. So that just was in the back of my mind the whole time. But now that I'm in this place, I'm trying to figure out how do I deal with this hanging over my head. Well, every day, man, it was something. Every day it was something, the Bloods and Crips, the Pikesies and Pikers and all that, all the East Siders, that was just rivalry gang shit. That was every day. But then again, you have to look at the environment that you was in outside of that. So I was dealing with that twofold. The gang stuff and this potential pedophile charge I got hanging over my head. And I can, recall vividly, I just finished the visit. It was my very first visit. My best friend came to see me. And I didn't eat much in there. The food is trash. This one particular meal that I did happen to eat, I was hungry. I wanted to make it back in time to eat. But they had me sitting in the visiting area for so long. I didn't know what procedure was. And I made the mistake of knocking on the command center door. And it's true what they tell you, the police, they're the biggest gangs ever. And I knocked on the door, and I'll never forget, it was a Hispanic deputy. He kind of looked at me and he said sarcastically, "Oh, you knocked on my door, huh?" you know whose house this is? And I'm saying to myself, oh shit, what did I just do? Not realizing that it was gonna get worse. You know, I was saying, look, man, I just want to get back to the pod. You know, y'all left me sitting in there. There's nobody else in there but me. I just want to get back in. And he took that as an opportunity to show me what they do to inmates, especially pedophiles in prison. So he walked me down a few series of doors and stuff. And mind you, unbeknownst to me, this is a jail. You would think there are cameras everywhere. There were a lot of cameras in that place, so there were a lot of dead spots. So these people, so initially they was taking me to an area that was off camera where they can do what they wanted to do to me. So they kind of led me to this area, and they opened the door, and these guys apparently looked like they were lifers. They looked like they was being shipped off. And they put me in a room where I had to defend myself for the most part. And these guys had makeshift weapons in the whole 9 yards. And ultimately, you know, I was always taught when you're in a group environment, if you got to fight somebody, you take down the leader. The leader presented himself as soon as I walked in. So it was the only thing I just knew to do was to knock him down, get him down, and just ball up. They stumped me out. They cut me up pretty bad, you know, my lower back and stuff like that. And after they finished working me over, the guards took me to another place in the prison, stripped me of my jumper, urinated, maced me down. So I'm laying in a puddle of urine, mace, you know, so my body is burning. I'm sweating from all the beat down I just took, you know, and I remember a couple of guys spitting on me, you know, just calling me out, you know, just all type of stuff. Then I just blacked out. The next morning I woke up I'm in my pod, and I'm all washed up and stuff like that. I can't remember how I got there, but I remember the guy that ended up taking me to a different area after finding me, so he said. And luckily, by the grace of God, the next day I got extradited to Texas, which wasn't better, but I wasn't there anymore. Right. But it was everyday business. It was just like, that's the everyday thing. I mean, I saw the same people that did it. They didn't even look my way. It was just like everyday business, you know. Wow. And I went to Dallas and got transferred, and I told the guys when I got there, being booked in, I said, listen, I had an altercation that happened to me in LA. Put me by myself. That shit is never gonna happen to me again. Yeah. And they assured me that the tank that I was going to didn't have them issues, and I didn't have them. But just knowing that I had to go through all that over something that I didn't do, only to, when I finally got an opportunity to tell my side of the story, it was pretty much, oh man, just start your life over. Nothing happened to the people that lied on me. It was just pick yourself back up and start your life over. I'm all about starting over. I've started over many times in my life, but I've never had something that tragic or traumatic happen to me. And like, how do you recover from this? You know, I came out with PTSD. I would watch the door for hours because I was so afraid the police was going to bust in. A lot of times I would stay out in the public just so I would, because I just felt, I didn't feel right. But how do you bounce back from that, you know? And for the longest time, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, I had to forgive it. That was the hardest thing that I could do after you took everything from me. My child, you put this accusation on me, you put me in harm's way, I lost everything, and the only thing that would allow me to either move on or to feel somewhat whole on the inside is I have to say, I gotta let that go. It's not that I forget about it, but as far as the hatred and the pain and the animosity I had towards the situation and the people who did it, I had to let it go. I had to let it go to the point where it didn't stifle my growth, where it didn't consume me. Because at some point, although I was working, I wasn't at my full potential because I was angry about something that I couldn't control. But then I realized that God only gives his biggest battles to his strongest soldiers. Wow. I'm like, prior to that happening, I've been through a whole bunch of shit. on my own growing up at 13.
Yeah.
And to have that happen to you, you never know how strong you are until you're in a situation like that, where strong is all you have to be. And I was like, man, I overcame that. I don't look like my story. It's something about me that God already knew that he's well equipped to take on anything that's going to happen to him in his life, and he's going to bounce back. So that's when I realized, I was like, you know what, instead of being so upset about the shit that I go through, I count it all joy. Because it's like, as soon as I get out of this, I got a bigger blessing on the end. And that's what's happened. Is like after that particular situation, my career just took off. And a lot of people, you got to be careful what you ask for, what you pray for, because you say, I want to be this, I want to be that, or I aspire to be this. And all that shit comes with a price. You never know what you're going to pay. I never knew that a culmination of all the things that I've gone through in my life got me to where I am right now. I paid a price to be where I'm at. A lot of people don't know that you're going to have to go through some dark shit to get to that success. All of us who are very successful or great, they got a story. Sure. They're not just the average person. They've been through some shit. So I'm like, wow, that was my story. That's a part of who I am. That's the character builder that I needed to be the man that I am today. You know, to be doing the things I'm doing right now. That's the price I had to pay. And I guarantee you, if God, he keeps that a secret for a reason, because if he told you all the things that you have to go through to get to everything, to where you want to be, you'd be like, oh, hell no, I don't want to do that. Yep. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. If he told you you're going to have to go to jail, you're going to lose this, you're going to lose marriages, you're going to, you don't want that. Who wants that part of it? But it's the scripture in the Bible that says you have to suffer before you reign. And when I look at my life, man, I look at Job. I look at people that been through all type of stuff and then turn their back on God. And at the end of it, I realized, although I wasn't in church, how much faith I had and I was exercising, not really knowing that I was exercising faith to a certain degree per se. You know, my faith, especially that situation, it brought me closer to God than anything. You know, and I hate that it took that for me to have the relationship that I have with him now, but I thank God that it happened. Because I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, I know he's real. And I know that all my life that it's been something bigger than me watching over me. So again, you know, I mean, yeah, the lifestyle looks lavish, you know, the red carpets, the movies and stuff like that. But there's a lot of us at home crying in fetal positions because we got our own shit, you know. But we just make it look really, really good. Why? Because that's what you guys want. That's what you guys see. You know, that's the motivator for you guys. When people come to me with this reverence, you know, you're a celebrity. Oh, I'm like, oh. I'm a regular guy. Come here. Give me a hug. What's up, man? How you doing? You know, it's a job to me. Yeah. I thank God for it, but I see it for what it is. It's a job. I thank God that I'm able to do the things that I'm doing. I thank God if I'm recognized, but it's not what drives me. It's not what motivates me. I'm more motivated by getting up, training my clients, because that's where I started. They keep me grounded. Right. You know what I'm saying? They really keep me grounded. So there you have it, man. You know, I've been through some shit.
Wow. That certainly takes it to the full definition of darkness. And I appreciate you being vulnerable. I appreciate you opening up. I'm a firm believer in putting this story out there to help people.
Absolutely.
Tell us what's next for you, and you know, take it from there.
I just finished a one episode to a would-be TV series. We just shot a pilot for it. It's going to be a 10-episode pilot. It's called Hopeless Romantic. And it's a role that I'm actually excited to play because I get outside of all the big, scary guy, you know, crime boss, you know, which is cool, you know, but I mean, the whole thing about acting is to be able to wear different hats, you know what I'm saying? And this one is pretty much like myself. I can relate to the character. His name is Guy Redmond. He's a business owner, ladies' man, you know, very affluent, but he has problems in the love department, as we all do, you know. Hopeless Romantic was created by Tamika Briscoe. She's the writer, Hopeless Romantic, and it's being directed by Kanique Sky. But I'm very excited. I mean, the log line is pretty much it's Insecure meets Sex in the City, and then a little bit of She Gotta Have It thrown in there.
Okay.
And we just talking about real life relationships. You know, these are something that you can actually look at and be like, yo, I'm going through this right now. And it's not bashing the woman, it's not bashing the guy. It's just different scenarios, and it's talking from a very relatable standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is really, really good right now, especially in television, because I mean, everything is so, you know, we need something that's going to help our situations. It can be entertaining, but still at the end of the day, if I actually applied this, what would my outcome be? You know, it's not all men ain't shit, all women, you know, it's none of that, you know what I'm saying? These are just scenarios that everybody has gone through, and it's just written in a way is like, whoa, it's hot, you know? So that's something that I'm working on. I got a couple of big projects coming out that I can't talk about right now, but I'm really, really hoping that they come to pass. I'm very excited about my future. That's it. Clothing line coming out, body couture. You know, finally I've been asked, you know, to put something out, so we're gonna actually do that. See how that turns out. So this year, I'm pretty excited, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us what's your Instagram, what's your Facebook, all that.
Facebook is the official Ty Edwards, T-H-I Edwards. My Instagram is official Ty Edwards. Okay. And then the website will be www.tyedwards.com. Okay. So that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Bossman family, there you have it. Ty Edwards. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to Tony Seven Films, Terrell Smith, Ty's manager.
Yes, he is.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and in closing, I just want to say, you know what? From the moment we met and from the moment I found out about your publication, I just want to say my hats goes off to you, man, for doing something different, for being outspoken about your message and how you want to go about it. Because, you know, I think a lot of people, we live in an age a lot of people want to be lied to a certain degree, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, you know, everything needs to be, there has to be some equilibrium, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, a lot of publications just show one side of everything, and that's not how it is, you know? And what, I thank God for you bringing me on here, because it gave me opportunity to kind of shed some light, to let a lot of brothers know that I've gone through the same thing that you've gone through.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, and I've cried those tears, you know what I'm saying? I've had those sleepless nights. You know, I even went to prison, I even went to jail. So I've been where you've been. But brother, I just want you to let you know that, look, you're not alone. It is light on the other end of the tunnel. You just got to keep pushing, you know. And at the end of the day, as much as I hate and you don't want to, you're going to have to forgive it. Forgive it, give it to God, and let it go. And watch how your life change after that, man. But look, you're not in the dark, brother. You're not in the dark. You know?
Yes, sir.
And that's for male or female, relationship, period. You just have to really, really be careful who you deal with.
Yeah. That actually gave me goosebumps, because I think we're in a society that is hurting. And going back to, and I know we're going to extend the interview here, but going back to the piece where you mentioned forgiveness, you had to let it go, that hit home.
Yeah.
That hit hard.
Yeah.
Like you would not believe.
Yeah.
I think that it's critical that people heal from trauma, from life experiences, and we don't do enough of that.
You're right.
And this is a step towards that.
Absolutely.
You know, let people know that it's okay to allow it to hit you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It happened for a reason. You
Right.
just shared your whole life, right? And look at where you're at today.
Right.
But you had to forgive. You had to let it go.
Had to let it
you
go.
don't forget, but you let go of those.
Right.
That the feelings, the negativity
Yes.
that eats you up alive.
Yes.
So
Yes. And you said it. It's okay. Don't forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know, people get this concept about the Bible, you know, forgive and forget. No, I'll forgive you. I don't have to forget it, you know, and the relationship between the person who did it, it's going to change.
right.
You know, I don't have to deal with you, but I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
stay away from me, you know. And that's what it is. But at the heart of it, I don't have to have those heavy feelings anymore about that situation. You know, anytime you can think about what someone did to you and you don't feel no kind of way about it, you know you've beat it.
Yep.
It's not beating you anymore, you know. I have conversations with my ex, you know what I'm saying? And I just, you know, that's just where it is. But know this, although you may feel like a punk, you know, and letting it go and forgiving, remember, karma is real.
Yes, sir.
You know, we always want to see what's done to us happen to the people who do it to us. And sometimes that's not God, that's not how God works. Some things isn't for you to see. But just trust and believe that it's gonna come around. What you put out in the universe, it comes back. And you cannot be a good-hearted person and do right by people and get mistreated and they not pay for it. Especially to that extent, you know. And again, it's not that I'm wishing anything bad on it, but just let you know, what you give out, you reap what you sow, you know. But at the end of it, I had to let go. I had to let it go, you know, because again, I was carrying that into other relationships. Yep. And until you fully heal from one thing, you're gonna bleed on somebody else. Yep. You know, and it's not their fault. Everybody needs to have a clean slate when you meet them. Yes, you know, you can't keep carrying baggage. And what I was doing, I was just so angry at females because one female made me mad at them all. Yep. You know, everybody come with their own individual shit, you know, and that's not fair to them. So, you know, fellas, if you're going through something like that, and women, if you're going through something like that, you gotta let that go. And once you let it go, that right thing will come into your life. You know what I'm saying? God ain't finna put you with somebody and you all messed up for you to mess them up. Yep. No, you're gonna deal with it, find help. Black people, we're very crazy about seeing psychiatrists and therapists. No, if you need that, do what you have to do to get right. Yep. Do what you have to do. Other words, you're just repeating this cycle that we've been in for hundreds of years. Yep. We gotta break it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad that I went through it. I'm glad I overcame it. I'm glad I'm in a better place. And I just hope that anyone who's watching this interview would take those necessary steps, man.
Yes, sir.
Because you can have it too.
Thank you. Well, once again, shout out to Terrell Smith, 27 Films, Ty Edwards. Thank you so much for being here. Spending your Sunday evening with us.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of things you could have been doing today, but you're here with Bossmann Magazine, sharing your story, helping others, and we are truly thankful for that. So
thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, and can't wait to put this out for people to see.
So. Hope you guys enjoy.